Game 7, Stanley Cup Finals, Bruins versus Blues. Can't wait. That's what we're doing here tonight before the big game. I'm your host, Nick Face. Sitting next to me is Tom Smith here this evening.
Wait in my imaginary rally.
Boy, are we pumped, excited, a little nervous, a little scared. But this is what it's all about, Game 7. How are you feeling? All those emotions.
I haven't trimmed or shaved my playoff beard since Mother's Day.
I got a little something going. It is what it is for me. I got to have something. So, I'm ready to go, I must say. The last show that we did, we were getting ready before Game 6, was it? Or Game 5. That ended up being a loss at home, but it really wasn't dictated so much off of the Bruins losing that game. It was more the officials in that game stealing that one away. Game 6 was a different story. Game 6 was when the Bruins' backs up against the wall. That was their do-or-die opportunity. They relished to the occasion, and they got their big win to get this series back to a Game 7.
And the perfection line came out to play that game.
Let's talk about Game 5 first. Let's break that down. That was the game that there was a lot of trash on the ice from.
Yeah.
Deserved?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
But did the Bruins also really not show up for that game too? Let's think about that in two different ways.
Neither team really showed up for that game.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, it ended up being a 2-1 final score. Should have gone into overtime.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't really happy with the result, not because of the way the teams played, but because of the stupid calls that weren't called.
Why have the refs been so, to put it blunt, horrible this series?
I mean, you can make all the excuses you want for them. Hockey is a fast-paced game. Things happen too quickly. But on that tripping call, there were two refs staring right at the puck and the play and everything that was
One of them was Sutherland.
Yep.
And who was the other one? Was it Rooney?
No.
Rooney is the official for Game 7 tonight. I do know that.
Yeah,
He's from
Game
South
6
Boston.
too.
And the Bruins don't particularly care for... He doesn't have a very good history against them.
But they are undefeated when he's reffing.
No, they lost Game 2 and they lost Game 4 with him. And he was reffing from that.
Oh, then I was misinformed.
You were misinformed from it. But they did win Game 6 when he was out on the ice. The refs shouldn't be the factor here in the game. If they are the leaders and the factors in this game, you know something went wrong. That's my thought from that. You did see a positive from Game 5, and that was the Bruins' first full-strength goal that was scored by Jacob DeBrusk. That was nice to see. DeBrusk has been very silent throughout the majority of the playoffs, if you think about it. Game 6, that was your game where you had a difficult decision to make with the Bruins. Do you go with the grizzled vet, David Backes, or do you put in Carson Coleman, a guy who's a rookie that hadn't played since, I think, April 30th, but quickness, good puck handling, good skill to insert into line 2. Who did you want? Did you want that move to happen, first of all?
When I found out that he was in the lineup, I felt pretty good. They need the speed. They need a little.
You didn't want Backes out, though, right?
I didn't want Backes out, but
you get it, though, right?
It makes sense, but I mean, if you, I don't know, I don't.
Coleman made line 2. That consists of David Krejci and Jacob DeBrusk, much more quick.
Well, Krejci was able to make his plays because Heinen wasn't taking the passes from him.
Right. That's the guy I would have put up in the 9th floor.
I mean, you need the physicality, and Heinen doesn't really play the physicality, but he also has the young blood and the speed. So, I mean, it's a tough choice for Bruce.
You also saw Brad Marchand put the first puck in the net for the Bruins right there. And the Bruins are now 26-1?
25-1.
25-1. Maybe I'm jumping the gun. Maybe I'm already predicting what's happening tonight.
8-0 in this year's postseason.
Wouldn't that be amazing? Yes, but he's 25-1 in the postseason when he scores. Keys to the game. Game 7. That's Brad Marchand scoring.
Basically.
Put it away. Put it away. But you also saw, to go back into Game 6, you saw Pasternak also score. You saw
Coleman got his first playoff
Brandon Carlo get the tip in. Coleman get his goal. Who else am I forgetting?
Marchand.
Chara.
Chara
scored. There was one other goal. I forget who it was, though. It was Johansson. Was it Johansson?
Might have been Johansson. It was definitely the third or fourth line.
Yeah, it was one of those guys from there. What did you look at from the Blues for Game 6? Did the Bruins figure them out finally?
A little bit. I think.
What did they do differently?
They were quicker. They were a little more physical.
That's your recipe for success, it looks like.
Well, it's that, and I think the Blues are getting a little tired from
think so.
banging up their bodies so much in the first 5 games.
I would think so. Now, going into Game 7 tonight, this is your do or die again opportunity. The Bruins all season long have responded very well and very good when their backs are up against the wall. They deliver. They get the job done. They find a way. Why wouldn't they do the same tonight? That's just what I keep thinking in my head.
Because, I don't see any other outcome other than the Bruins winning.
I don't. And I know that you had 6 or 7 for your games. I was winning 6. I know Phil, who's directing the show in the back, had 7 games for the Bruins. I think there's a lot of momentum in the Bruins' favor for tonight. Number one, you have some of the members on the team who have obviously won a Stanley Cup before. Your Bergerons, your Marchands, your Krejcis. They've been there. They've done it. But I think the most important thing here is you also have a lot of members of the 2013 team still here. And I think that emotion in them is still raw from when they lost their cup. That was a good chance they had from that. So they've been on the winning side. They've been on the losing side. I think that's going to help here with experience and veteran leadership to guide this team to their second cup since 2011.
Yep.
That's my outlook on the whole matter. If you look on the Blues side of things, well, they don't have that. And I think that that's a very, very difficult thing. It's a big disadvantage for the Blues.
Huge disadvantage.
They don't have any of that, playoff Stanley Cup experience. They've never won a cup in their history, have they?
Nope. They've only been to the cup final once.
They want to keep it that same, and that was 1970. And we all know the outcome of that with that season, with the Bruins winning it and all.
Yep.
So, obviously, Marchand is my big player of the game. I think Marchand needs to rise to the occasion, show up, put the puck in the net. Is this game a matter of who's scoring first, too?
I don't think so. It hasn't really made much of a difference in the series.
It did for 6.
Overall.
It did for Game 6, but that game was so anybody could have won in those first 2 periods.
Right. That first period was, hard fought by both teams, but the Blues got a little tired.
Tuukka Rask. I think his legacy is made here tonight. And I've heard a lot of talk about, well, his legacy's already been made. Well, yeah, yes and no a little bit, but you win this Stanley Cup, you're one of the greatest ever. You lose this Stanley Cup, you're a bum. Maybe not like that hard, but you're not on the same spectrum.
I think it all depends on the outcome too, like what the score is. But definitely would make up for his performance in 2013. Would definitely top Tim Thomas's performance in 2011.
Yep.
He had some Tim Thomas-like saves in Game 6.
Yes.
To keep the Blues, submitted.
Do you see him focused, dialed in for tonight? Same approach?
I've seen him. I don't know about you, but I've seen him focused and dialed in all series long.
It would be a big surprise to me if he does not rise to the occasion on this. He looks locked in. He wants this cup. But I don't think it's just about Tuukka here. This is probably your last song and dance here with Chara, with Bergeron, Marchand, Krejci, that whole core together.
Yeah, because, Tampa...
You blow this opportunity?
No.
You cannot. You cannot blow this opportunity.
Toronto and Tampa are going to come back harder next year.
Yeah, they are.
So, this is really your last chance at a good Stanley Cup run.
You knocked out the big boys, folks. You knocked out your Lightning. You knocked out the Maple Leafs. You've knocked out the Capitals. Not the Bruins, but they've been knocked out of, this Stanley Cup. Vegas. You knocked out the San Jose, Winnipeg. All those teams that were, watch out. I don't know if the Bruins can beat them or not. You got the Blues. And the Bruins have proven all season long that they can get the job done with whatever opponent that it is. Yes, this has been a tough series. Physically, it's been a beast. The Bruins are probably playing with some players who's got some big-time injuries. But I think overall, you got to look at that veteran leadership, that approach that they've been there from before. They've done this. This isn't their first rodeo here.
No.
I see that experience winning out here tonight.
I mean, and another thing, 30 players don't deserve to win championships.
Correct.
And if you look at it, David Perron had a chance to win it with Vegas last year. Didn't.
Yep.
He's been a real dirty rat player this year.
Yep.
And I mean, if you look at everybody,
I mean, look how embarrassing it's been for the Blues. They had two players, Oscar Sundqvist, and who was the other guy?
Ivan Barbashev.
Barbashev was suspended in this Stanley Cup. That's embarrassing for the NHL. And if the NHL is really backing a team like that, that's pathetic.
It really is.
And the Bruins are no angel, by no means.
No, because
they got their own antics from other stuff there.
St. Louis.
But the Bruins have been a lot more mild-mannered in this than the other Blues Brothers team out in St. Louis.
I mean, you know, all the Blues fans are going to be like, oh, what about Marchand? Well, he didn't win a cup when he was playing dirty.
Yeah.
He's been playing basically clean all playoff long this year. So
Now, the St. Louis newspaper. I don't know if you got a chance to see what their premature post that they did before Game 6.
There are 4 things that came out before Game 6.
Talk about bulletin board material for the Bruins. That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
How a mistake like that can happen. In case you didn't know what happened, they already had printed out things in their newspaper.
Saying that the Blues
They had a
won.
post about their general manager and president. Oh, what a season. Congrats. They got the parade route planned. The party's popping before the game is done. What is the matter with some of these teams?
They don't get it. Mayor Walsh hasn't even, has kept it under the hood about everything.
Like, you see what we do here. I mean, I know that people hate us because we win so much. But if anything, we plan it the right way. We never jump the gun. You got to go and earn it. You got to go out and do your thing, and then parties and things happen. I just hope that it stays like that. Stay classy, Boston. That's my big thing
that's
tonight.
what Mayor Walsh said. We always
Stay classy.
We always win and lose classy and celebrate classy and everything.
What are your keys to Game 7 for a victory? I'm going over mine with Marchand and obviously Tuukka being it. It could be the same, but what stands out to you the most?
The first and second line got to produce again.
You mean the perfection line?
The perfection line.
In case you haven't seen my shirt, I think whoops, and I spilled my water all over myself. In case you haven't seen my shirt, can't believe I did that. This is Bergeron.
Nope.
No, that is Marchand, that is Bergeron. It goes from right wing, all that stuff, and then that's Pasternak. I was wearing this shirt on Sunday. I did at the time put unperfection line or imperfection line is what I did. So hopefully it doesn't have to come to that tonight.
I mean, they will be the perfection line if the Bruins win the cup.
I'm not going to spill this time, I promise. Yes, that's my hope.
And I think Carson Kuhlman's going to help Krejci and DeBrusque have a big game too.
I do too.
If he is
I
in
do
the
too.
lineup. I don't know.
I do too.
I haven't seen the lineup yet for tonight.
I'm hearing that Matt Grzelcyk is going back in. That's
That'll
the
be good.
rumor around town. I'm hearing John Moore is staying in and Connor Clifton is coming out.
Interesting.
They're going with veterans in a way.
Which
I agree with.
I like the move, but with Grzelcyk coming back in, I would have thought they would have kept Clifton in because Grzelcyk's been a big help with Clifton.
I would have thought, but
I mean, you want the big heavy hitters.
Bruce Cassidy has done he's pushed all the buttons correct.
Trust in Bruce.
We believe in Butch Cassidy. Now that leads me to another point. The Bruins win this right here. What's the outlook next? What do you do? Where do we go from here? Obviously, I would think Cassidy would get a big extension.
You try to move forward the best you can with the team that you have.
That's what I would say. I mean, the future is still bright for the Bruins. You got a lot of young guys that are there. You still have some of your vets. You'll probably get another good season out of Bergeron and Marchand there. The ones to probably look at a little bit is your Backuses and your Krejcis.
I
think they might be on their last wings.
I think this is Backus's last season.
I do too. I just think that he's been hit too much, and it's taken a grind on him.
But it would be nice to see him win the cup.
It would be nice.
Win a cup.
Win a cup. That would be nice to see from that. For the banner captains for Game 7. I'm hearing a lot of reports. At one point, we've heard it was Tom Brady. Not sure if that's true or not, but Giselle posted some sort of a picture with Brady, and it looks like they're far away right now. I don't know if that's going to happen. I do know 100% that David Ortiz did tape a message that is going to be played at the Garden tonight.
Sweet.
So that'll be pretty
That'll be huge.
insane. I think the roof will blow off after that. In case you didn't, well, we haven't talked about the obvious David Ortiz thing. That's for another segment. But yeah, at least David Ortiz is doing.
He's feeling good.
He's feeling good, and he did his video thing. I think it's going to go insane. The big report that I've heard is that Tim Thomas is going to be the banner captain. How do you feel on that? They've been talking about it on the radio, and some like it, some don't. And I can see your mixed emotion on it.
You're telling me that he's coming out of his cave?
That's the rumor around town.
Because last I heard was what you told me, that it was going to be a bunch of Bruins legends with Tom Brady.
That's what I'm still leaning with.
I mean, it is. Yeah,
they're not saying anything.
He's far away, but he's Brady. He
is.
He can take a plane anywhere he wants.
He could take a plane anywhere he wants. I think that makes the most sense.
I mean, I like it.
Brady in an Ortiz jersey.
I don't think a lot of the fans are gonna be very much appreciative of Tim Thomas being there, and I think some of them won't.
Doesn't it take the spotlight off of Tuukka? Do you think Tuukka looks at that and says, why is he here, and turn into a puddle of emotions?
I think, I don't think that would really.
Why
help.
screw up Tuukka's head with putting in somebody who he had to take a back seat with when the cup was going on from before?
Right.
So I don't know if it's the right thing to do. If Tim Thomas is there, you got to tip your cap to him at least.
I'd be surprised though if he was, because he's gone under.
Yeah, that's why it makes it interesting to hear that. Now I also heard a rumor that Rene Rancourt's in town. Is he doing something with Todd Angeli tonight?
He could.
That could be possible.
Who knows? He might just be at the game, and they might just put him up.
I do want to say that we have talked about the whole Todd Angeli thing. He's been amazing as the singer.
Oh, he's great.
His little boy Luke is in our Sports Zone programs.
Oh, really?
He is. Found that out on Monday. So we wish the Angeli family all the kudos in the world. So I thought that was a pretty neat little thing.
That's pretty cool.
So that is pretty cool. So other than that, my keys to the game again, Marchand scoring, Tuukka being his Stonewall self. I would love to Butch being Butch. I would love to see Bergeron put one in, to really captivate this whole championship run.
It would be nice to see Chara and Bergeron.
It'd be nice to see something like that. I think McAvoy and Carlo are going to do something very impactful tonight, whether it's a goal, an assist to set something up. Berube in the convicts of the St. Louis Blues can say all the crap they want to right now. I will say that I didn't despise Vancouver as much as I despise this bunch of criminals. And it leads from their coach. Their coach is a pig.
Well, he's also an interim head coach, so it's all going to his head right now.
He is.
And
I'm telling you, if we have to watch and see anything bad, and I don't see anything going, if they have to celebrate on the ice, and I'm not going to say which team it is from it. I think I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know what we're going to do to allow that pig fest of a team to win.
I will say that I do like two players on that team, and those are Ryan O'Reilly and Jaden Swartz, and those are probably the two cleanest players in this series right now.
To even mention their names is criminal to me. So anyways,
what are you going to do?
I want to wish the Bruins the best of luck. This is going to be a short episode here. Again, this is our pregame show kicking off before Game 7. We will talk about the show. We will talk about the game, rather. Whether it's a win or a loss the next time that we will be here. So go Bruins, bring home the cup, stay classy, Boston, and let's party. Any other final words?
No, go Bees.
I will try not to spill anything else on me this evening. We will see you next time on hopefully a special Stanley Cup Championship edition of Face the Facts. For Nick Face, we will see you next time. Have a good night.